we envision a day in the near future where you log into your wallet and you create a new account and you get a pop-up that asks you if you'd like to protect this account immediately, because they're running our, they've got a connection with us on the back end.
Welcome back to AlgoHQ. We're here with Vendible co-founders Gwin and Doug. They're going to be showing me a bit of their product today. And Doug, what are we looking at here on this home screen?
So this is actually the initial build. So what we have, we're trying to determine what is the most intuitive way for people to interact with the application. So we've got people that will be coming from all the different chains, and they have different ways of interacting with their wallets. They have different seed phrases. And so at the moment, we are testing on the front end, we're testing what's the smoothest way to interface this, search and filter through the different chains. And we're entering in all of the different options for seed phrases because they're different. So everything that we had to start was initially set up with just Algorand. And so now as we're adding Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's the bear because it's been around for so long, for all these different types of ways that you can put your seed phrase in. So we're just putting all those in and getting ready. And on the back end cryptography side, we are essentially an encryption layer that sits over other blockchains using both. There's an encryption layer, and then there's a zero knowledge proof circuit that runs on Algorand to take care of everything. So we're implementing the circuits for those as well, encryption keys. So we're just gearing up for testnet. And really excited to get feedback. Everything that we do is based on continuous improvement. So that's what the wallet has done for us. Everybody that has come in there and tested and given us feedback continues to help us build better products. And if it hadn't been for the wallet, then we wouldn't have pushed our associated accounts, like our zero knowledge accounts, out as far as we have. And that's allowed us to be in a position to launch Trustable as a cross-chain product. So I'm excited.
So there's Vendible and Trustable. Can you detail the difference between these for anyone who might not know?
Yeah. Vendible is essentially the wallet infrastructure that's based on decentralized identity and the zero knowledge proof account systems. So that's kind of the umbrella infrastructure for everything that we do. And over time, you'll start to see more IBLs come out. So Trustable is the first IBL, that we're releasing as a full product. The wallet itself will most likely stay in a closed beta for as long as we're working, because it's kind of our playground. We get to test, we get detailed feedback, and we're going to leave that as a place where we can build tools for other wallets, tools for other dApps, and tools for ourselves. So yeah.
Is this a closed beta, kind of like Fortnite was a closed beta, where, I don't know if you know, but they was in closed beta for like 2 or 3 years, and some apps go into that kind of indefinite closed beta. Should we expect that here as well?
You should expect that. So we have almost 500,000 people that have signed up to use our beta, which is a crazy number.
Yeah.
And so far we've only let 6,000 in, just because we don't want to scale something that quite honestly, we don't want to compete. Like we're not trying to compete against the other wallets in the market. We want to help support them. And so it's a place where we learn and we can innovate. And so we can help others, because we see things that are coming in the market, 2, 3, 5 years down the road that are going to be needed. And so we're building those now.
If you're not trying to compete with other wallets in the market, um, I'm a little confused because you're making a wallet. So how does your wallet complement other wallets?
Yeah, so I mean, wallet is the right word, but I like calling it wallet infrastructure, kind of
Yeah.
wallet gateway.
Okay.
So it wouldn't necessarily be a competitive thing, but for Trustable being our private key recovery solution that gives, that gives people a peace of mind about asset protection, it would be that we would integrate with other wallets like, Algorand, Para, and MetaMask and those aren't done deals yet, but it would be wallet integration with those others. It wouldn't be a competitive thing at all.
Yeah. So we envision a day in the near future where you log into your wallet and you create a new account and you get a pop-up that asks you if you'd like to protect this account immediately because they've got a connection with us on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with a decentralized application. If you connect into a liquidity pool and that app reads, essentially the value in your account, and it can also read whether or not that key is protected. You can say, wait a second, you've got 20 ETH in this account. Would you like to, and it's not protected, would you like to protect it today? And it's a simple yes or no. So those are the types of things that we're building that we can just kind of assist the ecosystem as a whole.
So how do you ensure that the keys are encrypted safely? As a new user, I might be concerned that this is not really as safe as you might claim. How can you reassure me as a new user that it really is?
Yeah. So as simple as possible, we go every person who goes through our system goes through an identity verification, and this isn't because we need to know who you are. We need to know that you are unique in our network. Like there's no other version of Doug in Vendible, and this is critical because it keeps me from gaming the system, creating multiple accounts, trying to sort of I guess get over on everybody else.
Yeah.
So this creates a level playing field, and from there we create your decentralized identifier, and we create a main account for you. So you've got this DID document that has encrypted information about you that only you can access, and it's encrypted using data that you provide. That these are things that you would always know, but other people wouldn't know about you. Banks wouldn't know this about you. Applications wouldn't know about you. Vendible doesn't know this about you. And this becomes essentially the master key for all the encryption. So we encrypt this information. We encrypt the private keys. They're all stored in decentralized storage, so they're not in an AWS. No centralized services are storing this. And even if somebody could break the encryption, they can't actually even sign to unlock it because they don't know that information that you put into your identity vault.
And what's Doug's favorite shirt? Great Smoky Mountains. What's Ibu's favorite hat? Algorand. Things like that,
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really protected at the end of the day by you. So it still keeps everything completely sovereign. Vendible never sees any data, no keys. We don't want to. What we want to do is essentially prove you're unique and you are who you are. And from that point, everything else, you essentially own. You own all that data and any assets that are protected in any of these accounts.
So whatever the identity verification questions are, well, can you give me an idea of what those would be or what kind of metrics you're going to use to ensure that people are unique individuals?
And there's 3 types of questions that we are adding. So Some of them are familiar to people. We see them in the banking industry. It's not the mother's maiden name, but it is those.
What street did you grow up on? What was your first pet? What
Yeah,
elementary
those,
school did you go to, etc.?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bank of questions. There is we're looking at a visual pass where you actually upload an image,
Okay.
and then we give you random images and you have to select those. And then there's also a third, um, like a kinetic pass that we're working on.
What does that mean,
So,
kinetic pass?
so you have to do a little physical movement on the screen.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
just to those are interesting. Like upload an image. Like you're just gonna make me go onto my camera roll and put any image up there,
Yeah.
just to make sure that I'm a human.
Yeah. And plus with the partners that we have for the biometrics checks, it proves liveness. So it proves that you're alive and you're right there in front of your camera when you're doing this, and also proves that you're not under duress. You're not being coerced to give this information away. So yeah, there's security checks and all that.
Okay, now the only other question I have really is, if some database needs to store the answers to my questions, how do I know that's safe?
It's no database stores it. It's stored in currently it's stored in IPFS, so it's decentralized storage. So it's fully encrypted in Trustable in the application first,
Right.
and it's encrypted. Not only it's encrypted about 4 ways, and that final thing is the lock with all of your questions, and you sign off verifying that these are your questions, and you sign off verifying that these are your answers. So like somebody can't come back and say, well, I didn't say that. So you also confirm these are the questions and these are the answers. So yeah, it's right now it's going to IPFS, and in the future we're going to offer data storage providers the ability to open up nodes, and we'll sort of begin decentralized data hosting.
You guys also have an NFT series, which you're going to be building into community building, as well as going cross chain. Gwin, can I ask you about this? And can you describe this Ibel City? Ibel City, right? Not Ibel City, Ibel City?
Ibel City.
Ibel City.
Yeah, Ibel City, Vendible, trustable. That's the concept that we have come up with, and we launched it about 7 days ago, and I don't know if you have actually seen the series, and it is just envision it to be a kind of a reverse. I mean, we're calling it an X NFT, and it is, think of it as as a picture of clouds, and then the more you purchase, the more engagement and participation you have as a utility NFT. The picture becomes clearer and clearer through further engagement. So we want launching on Algorand and on AlgoHQ NFT and NFT Explorer, with others to come. And so with it initially being on Algorand, that number is 7,000 being launched. So it's a $120, 120 Algorand right now, which is about probably $35 as we speak. So we've just been very active on Twitter, been very active on Discords, and getting engagement, getting referral programs, and everything else. And it's as of today, it's taken off in these first 5-6 days. So we're just continuing to build and get community engagement.
What does buying that NFT kind of give the holder or give the community member, and do you have a long-term plan for the utility of them?
So we have a token Vend, and this token is a utility and governance token for a network. We call ourselves a cooperative network. We have to work together to make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing on our network. And it helps that we know that each entity is unique.
Yeah.
But I spoke earlier about those associated accounts that spin up. We spin up a lot of them. And so in each of those accounts, Vind is stored in there. And that's kind of like a stake that I'm saying that I am committed to this network. So there's no open public sale of Vind. Everything that we do is participation based. And so what we have coming up is the first real example of that. We had a small example with the wallet beta, and they're going to be receiving their rewards in this testnet phase as well. But we're giving 30 million Vind, which is like 2.5% of our supply, out just for this testnet, because it's so critical that we have a large, massive following in our testnet period, not only from Algorand, but also from Polygon, Ethereum, Solana, and Bitcoin, these chains that we are targeting. So as we look to determine how are we actually going to reach these communities that we're not in, that's when this concept for this NFT series came along. And so you get a minimum of 1,200 Vind per NFT that you have. So it like levels up the amount of Vind that you'll get for participating in. So off the start, there's a benefit. It gets you discounts on the fees for protecting the keys, massive discounts if you level them up, like Gwin said. Like the picture looks a little funny right now. It looks kind of like clouds. It's smog. Our city's covered in smog, and if you merge these together, not only do you get higher rewards, but the smog starts to go away, and you start to get a clear picture of the city. And a portion of this is going to go to help some air pollution initiatives. On the other side of mainnet, we talk about building a large body of testers. We really want, it's an ambitious goal, but we really want about 50,000 people in testnet, because halfway through testnet, we're going to open source our solution. And once we do, everybody's going to see our cryptography, and everybody's going to see how this works, and they're going to realize that we have solved a critical problem. And so we have to move very fast.
Right.
And so we will open source, then we'll release Vind on mainnet, and then we'll launch Trustable. With those 50,000 or so, that's a strong start. Then we'll have a referral program coming right behind that, so that we can start to scale. And as Gwin said, partnering with wallets, partnering with dApps to really, really grow this quickly is the game plan, because what we want to see is, strong revenues coming in from other chains, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, all of that value getting exchanged and transferred onto Algorand. So we're bringing all of that onto Algorand's chain. And then now we've got, our whole model, both internally and with our community, is a profit sharing model. So rather than just, storing profits away, the better way to use these are, the people create a service for us. Our employees help create this service. Our community helps, lift up this service and spread the service to others. And that service produces a profit. We return that profit to the people.
Yeah.
So we're taking that profit and we're putting it in a DAO treasury. What's great about this is it's in other assets. It's not in Vind, our token. And so if you stake Vind, the rewards you get are in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Algo, not in Vind. So we don't have to bleed Vind out to keep people interested and engaged with the product, which makes a pretty strong value prop for our token.
Gwin, what do you think about this? What made you make the decision to distribute other assets from the treasury instead of Vend? And also, where are you going to get these assets? Are you taking them from what people pay to use Vendible, or will you be converting profits from, let's say Algo into something like Go Bitcoin or Go ETH to diversify the pool?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited about it because first of all, we don't feel like anybody else is doing this. And then when we're able to go cross chain like this, our addressable audience is exponentially more. So, whatever the number is on what I'll just call key holders, I think that's maybe by the end of or next year, Doug, maybe 600 million. I mean, just think about your addressable audience on the potential. And when we say key holders, you could have a pair of wallet, and within that pair of wallet, you could have 10 keys in that, right? You could have a governance, you could have an NFTs. And so,
Right.
so I'm excited about that cross-chain capabilities from, serving the industry. And our structure with it is very reasonable. Also, that gets me excited because the way that we have it laid out right now from a financial standpoint is that for every key that you have, you will pay us $7. Our ask right now is $7 a year, and per key. So that is. Some of our investor prospects have said that's a very low cost, but we want to appeal to really everybody worldwide because we know it's going to be building demand on Algorand.
Right.
It's going to be building on new accounts. So, and we factored in, maybe an average holder has 10 keys. I know some have more. They may not want to cover all their assets. Some of them might be dummy keys. Some of them may be larger. So, just kind of do the math on that. So those are two things specifically right there that get me just really thrilled about this product. And it's just time to go to market with it. I mean, we've been spending so much time on our decentralized, identity platform, and now it's really time to get full scale adoption and cross chain, kind of what makes it happen.
I totally agree. The market for this product is immense. Anybody who uses any type of crypto wallet that's not on a centralized exchange will have at least some type of use, or probably should have some interest in this. So it's going to be really interesting to see how fast that adoption grows. How well your testnet does. Of course, I'm supporting you guys. When do you think we can see that closed beta? And when do you think we'll be able to get our hands on the product for the first time?
So the idea is to move. So we have 6 series in this NFT. So we've already released the 3 on Algorand. We want to sell those out. Ideally, we want to sell those out and then move on to Polygon, Solana, and Ethereum. So they have 3 series, 1 on each. And so we can run campaigns there. We can bring in communities there, and start to put a foothold in these other spaces. So once we move through all 6 series, then we essentially release our white paper. There's a peer-reviewed paper that we're going to put out on the entire system, and then we go into testnet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, that could be 2 weeks, that could be a month, it could be 6 weeks. It just depends on how fast we're able to move on the NFTs. But and then testnet could be a month, it could be 2, just depending on how demand is driven. So you'll be getting it sooner than later.
Okay. I would say if we're being conservative, then 6 to 8 weeks to run through the NFTs. If we're really trying to spend time engaging with these new communities and trying to educate them, because there's a lot of education around what we do that needs to happen.
Yeah.
And then once we go into testnet, we'll probably do a month with just the NFT holders. And then we'll open source, we'll put Vend on mainnet, and we'll bring in the rest of the people who signed up for testnet, and we'll run them through for about another month with the large volumes, make sure everything's good, and then we'll release the mainnet.
Okay, so it should be in the next few weeks. I think it's going to be super exciting. Thanks, guys, so much for coming on AlgoHQ. Keep your eyes out for Trustable, powered by Vendible, as well as the Able City NFTs, which have a lot of benefits. Cross-chain platform for key protection. Truly an incredible idea, and really excited to see how it works out. Are there any things that you guys want to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, I need a picture of your hat because the teal, that's the inspiration for the Series 2 foundational teal. That's where we got the color from.
Yeah.
From that hat. So
yes.
Send me a picture of that hat so I can post it up.
I feel lucky. I have 2 of these hats, so
I know they're rare. They're super rare.
Oh, you have one too, Tiffany.
Oh, nice. And you have to buy all 3, Ibu, of course, as well. All 3 series to get all 3 different colors.
Yeah, I know. I do. Well, anyway, guys, thanks so much for coming on. Looking forward to your product and speaking with you more in the future.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Let's do it again. Thanks for your support. Really appreciate it.
Of course.